see, you have certain attachments that you send, right? So it becomes like a covering letter, right? So the attachment, could be on a PDF form, some things like that. So it can be like 4-liners, 4 sentences. It all depends on to the topic. Don't drag. Not too much of fluffy words, and but don't forget the formal greetings and the sign off things.
So that's very important. How the salutation as well as the sign off is very important in any
Now another thing is, if I may add to this, Amaya, something that the people, the young, I have a very different audience, so I have to tell everybody. Now, what happens if the email is sent to the wrong person? Now. It's you have heard many stories like this happening, right? It's not meant to someone, and it is not meant to somebody, and suddenly you send button and it goes to someone else. You have every right to phone and apologize and say, sorry, it was not meant for you, but don't say, don't read it. You know what human nature is like. The moment they don't read it, they want to read it.
Of course.
Yeah, so do. Right. Now the second one is
reverse psychology there.
Reverse psychology always. Yeah, it's so funny. The second one is you say, it's a common thing, how they want to send an email to somebody attacking your boss. And then accidentally it lands
in your boss's lap.
Then what happens? What happens? What do? You have to face the consequences. So what you do is you realize your mistake, you make a beeline to his or her room, apologize, explain yourself, and take the blame for it. Take the responsibility. Okay. So that is how you actually overcome. Then of course sometimes they have these generic emails. Sometimes the ones that you send for like for many people.
Yes.
Those type of emails. Sometimes if you have sent the wrong thing, then you can actually apologize and say, I hope that I have not offended you or hurt you.
So it's all about taking quick action, is it?
Yes, for mistakes.
I see. So there we go. Something to tide you over those awkward moments. During the corresponding of an email.
And also, Maya, one thing is, I must tell you that the younger people are very, very savvy when it comes to cyberspace. And this is where sometimes the parents and children do clash. So, my dear parents, I am one. What I'm trying to tell you is, be humble. Please ask your children, if you receive an unusual email, the title will be screaming at you, congratulations, you won this, you won this. Or you have been picked for this and picked for that. Scams are there, right? And I myself know of a person who is very close to me who got caught with a scam 2 months ago. And guess what? I think he tried to ask his children, but it was a bit too late when he went and gave his credit card number. And before he could say anything, they had siphoned off about 2,000 odd pounds from his account, right? So scams are there. Sometimes what happens is elderly people, when their children go to work or where they are logging into the cyberspace and they are finding a whole heap of information, right? And unfortunately, when these type of fill in the form comes, do this, and you think, oh, what the heck? And then you get carried away. Then you give this information, you give that information, you are given this. Then too bad.
Snowballs into a big disaster.
So just remember, do consult your children or anybody else when it comes to things. Not that I'm saying that you all are much cleverer than them. Certainly, I give you that respect and regard. But sometimes there have been cases, like I can't really mention, but this Dropbox thing also is a thing where you share emails. But I know of cases of certain romantic involvements and things where they have been actually seriously they have been interdicted, or they had to give the resignation because because they were not very technically savvy with these latest things. You see, they didn't want the correspondence to come to their inboxes. Okay. So they thought Dropbox, like cloud, that they can access it from the different addresses. So unfortunately, they didn't know that it was accessible to so many others.
So I think what you have to remember at this point is that the internet and being online is not the safest thing, and your privacy is always at stake.
Yes,
so
you have to be
careful out there.
Yes,
there are so many people who can take advantage of
Absolutely,
it. Absolutely, yes. Well, so then moving on to social media, this has taken all generations by storm, I think. Now it's not just the younger generation, everyone is on social media. So I'm sure that's a special type of etiquette that you have to follow when it comes to being on social media, because this is not official, this is your privacy that's online. So how do you handle that situation?
Right, now I know of a case of, I read somewhere where the children have said they killed the Facebook for them. Why? Because when mom's getting to the Facebook, they try to, they can find out what the children are up to.
Yes.
So now the story the adults are taking over, and apparently the teenagers don't find it very interesting at all. But actually, this is the fastest form of social networking, and it is updating status. It is an updating status, right? And also it expresses your opinion. Yes, right?
Yes.
Now, only thing is you have to be very, very careful with Facebooks and Twitter. You see, famous people like famous cricketers, film stars, they have a huge, big follower, and they follow them up on Facebook and Twitter, right? Now, when you express your opinion, you need to be very, very careful. See, a bad example is, say, a famous cricketer, right, writes on his Twitter or tweets, "Oh, the umpire was not fair by me." And guess how many people read that? So you have to be very, very true. So remember that you must never write on controversial topics, right? B, never complain about your workplace, your boss, the cardinal rules, and your colleagues, right, by accident. Remember, it's status updating. So if you do accidentally even say something, so many people look at it, and who knows if your boss's friend have seen it there, and they might even convey it to you. So you have to be very, very careful of updating, when you update your status and when you write, be mindful of those things.
Of course. And then another growing trend, and something that has taken everyone by storm, is posting a lot of pictures online. And a picture can speak 1,000 words, they say. But what are some of the rules that you should follow when it comes to filtering what you put online and out there?
Yeah, you were actually playing on the cyberspace, all these things. Bottom line is you have got to show due consideration and respect for everybody. Right, and if you really are going to do things that are not favorable to your friends, and you go for a party, and then it happened to Prince Harry when he was in Las Vegas.
I saw that story.
It's a story, and everybody saw the picture. Was fortunately we didn't. So they all felt very sorry for him. But things like that you really shouldn't do, because you will lose out your friends, and people, may not have you again at a function, because what happened at a function is really private. But I feel really sorry for the young generation with their smartphones. They take pictures and they post it immediately for the whole world to see. So you have to be really on guard for these things.
Of course.
So but they are also smart. But I suppose sometimes we do not know in what condition they are when they do things like that. But that's really, really very foolish,
So there are certain rules that you have to follow in that regard as well, I'm sure. But then when it comes to location and giving out where you are at a certain time of the day or where you will be, what are the things you really have to be careful about? Because again, this is an opportunity for cyber criminals to come in, and there are so many ways that they can use that information.
So this is the thing. The cyber criminal thing is really important, because as I say, it happens to everybody. The most important thing is you do not divulge anything to an unknown party. Right? Wherever you are, like if you are surfing the net, this is where you come across all these pop-ups and certain things that come and draw your attention to, and you really get carried away, and then you think, wow, you are nearly going to get this, that, and then you keep filling the forms, and then before you know, pronto you have sent it, and here they are, those they are absolute, I mean, it's like a daylight robbery, the way they take the information out of you, they filter it from you, and then they somehow the Google search you, your background, and then before you know anything, you are sending messages.
It's out of your hands.
Yes, yes. And they have all the privacy, and they have all the information. So you really should divulge any information, I would say, on the internet. You can't.
I see. Okay, so you have to monitor yourself very carefully about what you put out there.
And also something that we really didn't touch on was, Amaya, about using internet at work.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
I remember you telling me that you wanted me to do that segment. Right now, sorry, the internet is a fantastic thing. It's a real boon to workers because they get all the information now they want from the internet. Right? Now internet has become more than a research tool. Why?
Of course.
Because you get your sports scores, you get your market updates, news, politics, recipes, what else? Catalog, shopping.
Even the news, now people have actually let go of newspapers to some extent, and everyone's just online.
So
every morning.
Everything is there, so let's forget. So therefore the employers now have devised a thing for their self-defense. So therefore they monitor you and they keep an audit of what you do. Right? If your company has a certain policy which says no internet accessing, please abide by the rules. Otherwise, it might cost your job, your promotion, and your bonus, right? But what the companies do is that they will really know. They have a mechanism which will monitor what you're doing, which sites you go to, how often you go to, how many hours you spend on that site, and what you download. So you have to be very, very careful all the time. So this
and some employees may not even be aware that this is happening.
I hope they are aware. I mean, because now this is a little bit. I mean, we all at all ages we are going to miss out on life if we do not know something on the internet, and all of us are. But I hope they have the sense of mind not to do things that are against doing it.
Company policies, especially. But then moving on to something like having work colleagues who are also on your personal space, on social media especially. Well, is there a limit that you should draw on what they can see, what they can't see, or because being a colleague and being a friend, there can be a fine line between the two. So how can you just keep your personal space private but still allow your colleagues to be a part of that?
The thing is, there is no privacy, isn't it? I mean, how can you? I mean, when you are on Facebook with so many friends who are linked up to you, I think it's really difficult. As I told you, there is no privacy at all here in this. Like, for instance, I told my son the other day, oh, I'm on Facebook, and I said, I got so many wishes from friends. He said, really, Mom? You guess how much I got? And it was frightening amount of friends they keep. That's how they manage the networking that they do.
Yes.
So that is amazing. So I think it is difficult to hold back. Once you